Ever wondered what lurks beneath the glitz and glamour of football, the world's most popular sport? Football, a sport that unites billions across the globe, has an allure that's undeniable. It's a spectacle of skill, strategy, and sheer determination, a showcase of human triumph and spirit. But like a well-polished mirror, it reflects not just the best but also the hidden aspects of our society. Beneath the roar of the crowd and the shining trophies, there's a side of football that's often overlooked. It's a side that's shrouded in shadows, obscured by the dazzling spotlights of fame and fortune. We're talking about the dark secrets of football, the stories that are rarely told, the truths that are often swept under the lush green turfs of the football field. This is an exploration, a journey into the lesser-known aspects of this beloved sport. So buckle up, brace yourselves, and prepare to delve into the lesser-known, darker side of football. The pressure in football is more than just the 90 minutes on the pitch. The beautiful game as we know it is not just about the adrenaline, the cheers, the goals, and the glory, yet there's a hidden dimension, a darker side that's seldom spoken about. It's the pressure, the immense, relentless pressure that these players face day in and day out. Imagine this. You're a footballer, and every move you make is under intense scrutiny. Your performance isn't just about you or your team. It's about the millions of fans around the world, the reputation of the club, the livelihoods of the staff. Every pass, every shot, every decision on the pitch could be the difference between triumph and disaster. The weight of that responsibility is immense. Now add to this the expectations of the media, the sponsors, the management, even your own family. The pressure is unyielding, and it's there all the time. It's there when you train, when you eat, when you sleep. It's there in the quiet moments when you're alone with your thoughts. It's there in the roaring moments when the crowd is chanting your name. And this relentless pressure, it can take a toll. It can chip away at your mental health, bit by bit. Depression, anxiety, these are not just words. They are real, tangible issues that many players grapple with, often in silence. The pressure to always be on top, to always win, can create an environment where mental health issues thrive. Players are expected to be warriors, to be unbreakable, but they are human, just like the rest of us. They feel, they hurt, they break. They need support, understanding, and room to breathe. The game of football, then, is not just about physical prowess. It's about mental strength, resilience. It's about handling the pressure, the expectations. It's about facing your fears, your doubts, and still stepping onto that pitch, ready to give it your all. The football pitch, then, is not just a battleground of skills, but also a battlefield of mental resilience. Behind the scenes, football harbors a grim reality of abuse scandals. A dark shroud conceals the heart-wrenching accounts of physical and sexual abuse, weaving a chilling narrative that is often left untold. The spotlight often fails to illuminate these tales, keeping them swept under the rug, hidden from the public eye. Over the years, numerous instances of abuse have surfaced, leaving fans and players alike shocked and disillusioned. Young athletes with dreams of glory in their eyes have found themselves trapped in a cycle of violence and manipulation. Coaches who should be mentors have been revealed as predators, exploiting their positions of power. One of the most harrowing instances occurred in the United Kingdom, where over 800 victims came forward in what was called the biggest scandal in British football history. This unprecedented revelation shook the very foundations of the sport, forcing the world to confront the harsh realities lurking beneath the surface. Regrettably, these instances are not isolated. From South America to Europe, from Africa to Asia, the same narrative repeats, painting a distressing picture of global proportions. Often these cases are dealt with internally, allowing the culprits to evade public scrutiny and legal repercussions. This lack of transparency and accountability only serves to perpetuate the cycle of abuse. Victims, silenced by fear and shame, carry these burdens alone. They grapple with the trauma long after their playing days are over. These stories are a stark reminder of the human cost behind the glitz and glamour of professional football. It's a cost that is too often overlooked, as fans and sponsors are dazzled by the spectacle on the pitch. The world of football must confront these issues and strive for a safer, more inclusive environment for all involved. Sweeping these matters under the rug does a disservice to the victims and to the sport itself. It's time to shed light on these dark corners and bring the abusers to justice. These stories remind us that the beautiful game can sometimes hide ugly truths. Football, like any other industry, is not immune to corruption. You know, it's a bitter pill to swallow, but it's the truth. The beautiful game has had its fair share of ugly instances of match fixing, bribery, and shady business dealings. And these occurrences, they chip away at the reputation of the sport we all love. Let's talk about match fixing, for instance. It's the act of intentionally manipulating the outcome of a match for personal or financial gain. It's not just the players who are involved, but it can also involve coaches, referees, and even high-level officials. The integrity of the game is compromised when the results are not a true reflection of the players' skills and strategies, but rather a premeditated plan. And then we have bribery, which is another form of corruption that has plagued football. It's often associated with the allocation of major football events. Picture this: high-ranking officials accepting massive sums of money in exchange for their votes. It's a scenario that has played out more times than we'd like to admit, casting a dark shadow over the sport. Moreover, let's not forget about the shady business dealings. Players being bought and sold like commodities, agents pocketing enormous amounts of money, and clubs operating like business empires rather than sports institutions. These practices have become so commonplace that we've almost become desensitized to them, but they are a form of corruption nonetheless. All these actions, they tarnish the reputation of football. They turn a game that should be about passion, skill, and sportsmanship into a murky world of deceit and dishonesty. It's heartbreaking for the millions of fans worldwide who invest their time, money, and emotions into supporting their favorite teams and players. And yet, despite these challenges, the love for the game persists. The collective spirit of football fans worldwide remains unbroken, but it's important to shed light on these issues, to be aware and vigilant, so that we can work towards a cleaner, fairer game. Corruption indeed is a shadow that looms large over the world of football. But remember, where there's a shadow, there's also light. And it's up to us to ensure that the light overpowers the darkness. In the 21st century, football still struggles with the deep-rooted issue of racism. This is a harsh reality that we must confront. Racism has been a recurring problem in football, with players often subjected to racist abuse both on and off the pitch. It's a bitter pill to swallow, but the beautiful game is tarnished by this ugly issue. Let's explore some instances of this issue. We've seen players targeted with monkey chants, bananas thrown onto the pitch, and even racially abusive messages on social media. These are not isolated incidents. They are part of a wider problem that is deeply ingrained in the culture of the sport. Despite the global reach of football, and its ability to unite people from different backgrounds, these incidents remind us that not all fans treat players with the respect they deserve. The racial abuse faced by players is not just hurtful, it is dehumanizing. It strips them of their dignity and reduces them to the color of their skin. But where are the efforts to combat this issue? Some might argue that football governing bodies have taken steps to fight racism. They have launched campaigns, imposed fines, and even played matches behind closed doors as a penalty for racist behavior. But many players and fans alike feel these measures are insufficient. The fines often amount to a mere slap on the wrist for wealthy clubs. Playing matches behind closed doors penalizes all fans, not just those guilty of racism, and the campaigns, while well-intentioned, often fail to bring about meaningful change. The lack of effective action sends a dangerous message that racism can be tolerated, that it's just part of the game, but it's not. It's a blight on the game. Football is about skill, passion, and unity. It's about celebrating our differences, not discriminating based on them. So, as we move forward, we must strive for a game free from racism, where every player is respected for their talent and not judged on their ethnicity or skin color. Racism, a blight on the beautiful game, continues to be a stubborn stain on football's reputation. Football, for all its glory, is not without its dark corners. Behind the dazzling lights and echoing cheers, there lies an underbelly of unspoken pressures, scandals, corruption, and racism. Players are expected to perform under tremendous stress, sometimes leading to mental health issues that go unnoticed. Shocking abuse scandals have tainted the sport's reputation, showcasing a lack of player protection. Corruption has seeped into the sport's governing bodies, raising questions about integrity. And the specter of racism still haunts the stadiums, a stark reminder of a fight not yet won. These issues aren't mere hiccups, but systemic problems that require our attention. As we revel in the sport's triumphs, we must also shed light on its dark side. Urging transparency and accountability in the sport is not an option, but a necessity. As fans and lovers of the game, it is our responsibility to not turn a blind eye to these issues, but to confront them and demand change.